Today is December 18th, and my mom has been in the hospital since November 23rd, Thanksgiving. She's still right now in a comatose state. They are giving her Provigil to try and wake up. So it's a neurostimulator. And basically it kind of works like Ritalin, so it's either he uses that or Ritalin, and it stimulates her to wake up. So we'll see how she's doing. Today's day 2 that she's been on it. Hey kitty. Hey kitty. Hey kitty. Hey kitty. Kitty. Hey, how you doing? I turn the light on. How you doing? Hi. I really wish I was like laying down right now. It's been a long day. You'll probably hear my husband in the background. He is streaming right now. Okay, my mom's been in a hospital since Thanksgiving 2023. She had an aneurysm burst. It was 6 millimeter. They put 3 coils in it. She has since developed very serious complication, and they made it worse, and they gave her strokes. She is allergic. My mom's allergic to everything. One second, let me shut the door. And I kind of want to lay down because I'm not well. Anyway, okay. A lot to go over. My mom is terribly, severely, like 0.0007 people in the whole world have this. Severely allergic to heparin. So she developed a condition called HIT, H-I-T, Heparin Induced Thrombocytopenia, or something like that. It's where it depletes all of your platelets. Very serious condition. They gave her platelets, which turned into gummy bears in her veins, and basically all clumped up and gave her multiple strokes everywhere in her brain. Literally everywhere. So not only did she have a subarachnoid hemorrhagic stroke, which touched every part of her brain, and they thought that she was a dead person by looking at the brain scan, and she was actually moving and talking and getting up out of the bed. And the doctor was amazed that she was doing that. Well, now she has definitely had many, many strokes that will definitely give her very many disabilities. So that added insult to injury. Anyway, today is December the 18th. We're a week away from Christmas right now, 2023, and I'm hoping that she will make it to Christmas and be awake. She has been re-intubated since the 2nd. I believe she had strokes on the 2nd because she never woke up after that they intubated her. They never woke her up, they just kept her asleep with sedation. I'm not sure why they didn't wake her up to see what was going on with her, but they didn't. They gave her 2 packs of platelets, and since then she has had strokes. I believe on the 7th she also had some strokes because she had some really funky stuff going on with her blood. Okay, so, and it's really hard because I look lazy, but honestly, I was out of bed after a 3-month span of being in bed with a blood condition that gave me less than 0 energy. I was well enough to sit and stand for 4 days when this happened to my mom. Thank God I got well so that I could go to the hospital, because I don't know what I would do if she was in the hospital and I was not able to see her. Like, I was very sick. I'm still kind of sick, but I know what to do now to help my situation so that I don't become that sick ever again, hopefully. I don't know. So, after they looked at my mom's brain scan, everybody thought she was a dead person. They thought they were getting her ready for a, where you donate your organs. They thought that they were getting ready to do that. And I don't even know why he said that, because do they donate 73-year-old women's organs? I don't know. They're used, you know what I mean? So I don't know if they do that or not. But he said, yeah, he was getting ready. He thought that he was doing all of the things, getting this woman set up for donation of organs. Okay, so after he says all this, then he's like, and I was also looking at your mom's brain scan, and she has something, Chiari malformation. And I'm like, what? Okay, I have EDS. Literally don't know who I got it from. I got it from my mom, or I got it from my dad. Now I know my mom has it. My mom has this Chiari, or Chiari, however you say it, malformation. And I've been looking into it. And there's 3 types. And she probably has the 1 type. Like, the 3 and the 2 are really bad. And she doesn't have spina bifida. She's never had that. So she probably has, it's either type 1 or type 3, but she probably was born with it, was asymptomatic for her entire life, and then if she has EDS, it would make sense that she has an aneurysm and it burst. Makes complete sense, because that's what I fear dying from. Aneurysms, heart exploding, the artery in the heart just explodes randomly, or there's another one that I'm afraid of dying, MCAS, which is basically your body just becomes allergic to things, and it kills you because you have an allergic reaction, and it kills you. Those are 3 things that I'm deathly scared of having EDS. I deal with everything else. My mother never had POTS, and I will tell you this, I have never, like, on, Instagram, I talk to people who have EDS, we have a support system, like, hey, I did this for my EDS, or hey, this doctor told me to get lost because he can't treat it, so he doesn't want to look like an idiot, so he told me to get lost, so, things like that. We have a support group. I have never met anyone on a support group with EDS that doesn't have POTS. So I kind of thought, well, maybe EDS is from my dad's family, you know what I mean? Because I have 2 genetic connective tissue disorders. I have EDS and I have lipedema, which is also called painful fat syndrome, which means basically all of my fat turns into fibroids. And they're big and they're little. I mean, they're numerous. It's a lot. Anyway, I've shown you that before. So, I'm so stressed out right now. I have barely had sleep this past month. My mom has been in coma, and just her moving her lips, moving her tongue, doing this, blinking with her eyes shut, like, she might as well run a marathon, because they're so hard for her, and it's so exciting for me to see her move any part of her body. And she does respond to pain, but some doctors, they walk in and they're writing nothing new. They're like, no change, okay, bye. They don't say, hey, Esther, hey, can I talk to you? Hey, are you there? The nurses are like sticking needles in her without telling her, hey, gonna stick a needle in you now because I need to get some blood. You know what I mean? They've put in, like, I don't know, it seems like every day they're collapsing a vein, so they have to put in a new vein. She's got an arterial vein, so that'll last for a couple weeks, and that's great. This is her second one she's on. But they have to change her vein out every couple days. She's got, like, super high salt. I thought, can the salt damage her brain? Because, like, you got her salt really high. Her salt's really freaking high right now, like, real bad. And they're like, oh, we got to do that for some reason because of her brain, yada yada. And then I'm like, oh, do I trust these doctors? Because they gave her platelets and gave her strokes, you know, because they gave her platelets because she's allergic to heparin. And then they had her on heparin for like longer than they should have in the first place. And then they're like, oh, everybody's allergic to heparin on this test, so we didn't think nothing of it. But yeah, your mom's severely allergic, and she's actually part of the group that we've never seen this before in our lives, and we probably never will see it again. That's how allergic she is to it. So great. So I had to tell my family, hey, family, we're all probably allergic to heparin, so if you go to a doctor, don't get too much heparin. And you've seen me take a heparin shot after I had my baby, so I wasn't on it as long as her. She was on it for 5 days. You're not supposed to be on it longer than like 3 or 4, something like that. 5 is like max, and she was on it for longer than 5 actually, so they shouldn't have done that. But now she's on Argotran or Argotron. I don't know. They got her on some kind of blood thinner right now because literally her body made jelly beans or jelly cherrybertler. There you go. There you have it. Her body turned into bears that are jelly. Those. Anyway, you just witnessed what I have done my whole life for the past probably 25 years, where I can't speak and I speak a different language that comes from outer space because I can't say the words. And I'm trying to think of this stupid bear? Jelly bear? Gummy bear. Gummy bear. Okay, so her blood turned into gummy bears and it got trapped all over her body. Not just in her brain where it caused strokes, but most likely in her heart. And guess what? She has bilateral pulmonary embolism. Now, here's the thing. I thought that an aneurysm will kill you. You're a dead person. It pops, you're dead. Apparently not true. I also thought if you got pulmonary embolism, just one of them, not even bilateral, you're dead. You're a dead person. Apparently not true either. Apparently the scanning has gotten so good for pulmonary embolism that they can see it, but some of these pulmonary embolisms are actually natural. And you're supposed to get them, and your lungs are like a filter where it holds all the little blood balls. What the hell is that called? Blood. You caught me when I'm real tired, and this is what I do. Clots. Blood clots. Oh, that was painful. So naturally a person will clot if they're like on a long flight. They'll have a blood clot and it'll just go up to their lungs, and it's okay. It doesn't cause any problems. Like, you might be hard to breathe in, like shortness of breath, but it doesn't hurt you. It doesn't kill you. But if you do have symptoms of that after a long flight, or you've been in bed for like 3 months like me, you might want to go to the hospital and get checked. Okay. I'm just going to tell you this and be ashamed. I get blood clots at least once a week. I get them on the side of my calves and underneath of my knee. Both knees, both sides of the leg. I have had them since my youngest son was little, so I've had them for over 20 years, and I get them at least once a week. Where is all these blood clots going? That's what I want to know. Maybe it does cause me to have mental, like, cognitive issues. Like, I used to be real sharp and funny when I was probably like 20 years ago. I was like super funny. You say something and I'm like this right back at you. Funny. And I would have a good time with that, right? Well, lately, and probably last 10 years, I'm slow at, like, wit. My wit's very slow. And when I'm thinking of words, it's real slow. Like my cognitive function has gone down, period. And I thought it was just because I'm having kids. My mom and her condition has made me think of so many things. And right now, my mom has the possibility of like saving my daughter's life because my mom has this Chiari malformation. Abigail, she's 7 now, my daughter. She's been having severe migraines. You know, I took her to the doctor and she's just like, drink water, lay down when you're, you know, I can't do nothing. You want pills? No. Okay. Well, Judy got her a headband that is frozen, and that helps her a lot. Helps her a great deal. But now she's starting to get cluster headaches, which happen in your eyeball. And she's like, Mommy, I have a headache right in my eyeball, and I'm blinking this one twice so I don't have to blink this one because it hurts when I blink it. I'm like, crap, you know? It's like, ugh, I hate this. Yesterday, or day before yesterday, she goes up to my husband. She's like, Daddy, I can't feel anything. And then she passed out. He caught her because she walked up to him. She's like, Daddy, I can't feel anything. I wish I had seen this, but he takes her to the couch and waits for her to wake up. Woke up like, I don't know, 10, 15 seconds later. Passed out, though, completely passed out. I'm glad he caught her. I'm glad she walked up to him. She's like, Daddy, I can't feel anything, and then pass out. So, some of the symptoms of the Chiari malformation is, because it's basically your tonsillar cerebellum, part of your brain that looks like this is going down into your spinal cord. And it's elongated, and it's going into your spinal cord. So that's incompatible with life. So thankfully, this hole was bigger. Your spinal cord right there is bigger than a normal person's. However, if you remember, if you followed me for this long, you remember Abigail. When I was pregnant with her, the entire time I would have like 1 sonogram a week to look for her cerebellum that they could not find. And that was the most stressful time of my life, besides this one right now. Because I thought my baby was going to be born and not be able to move her arms and legs and just be a shell of a person, because you can't function without a cerebellum. You can't move. It's where your moving centers are. All of your movements, every one of them, possibly even breathing and heart beating and stuff. So the possibility of her being born that way was like killing me the whole time I was pregnant. And every week I would go and get a sonogram, and they never did find her cerebellum. You know, and after I was like 6 or 7 months pregnant, she barely moved. Barely. Like, I could feel her hiccup sometimes, and that would be like, okay, she's alive because she's hiccuping. But barely moved. Every time on the sonogram, all they would see is her hair. She had real thick brown hair. Full head of hair, by the way. That's all they would see on the sonogram was her hair. They would never see any part of her cerebellum. So that scared me the whole time I was pregnant. She never moved, could never see her face. She didn't move. She didn't move. So when she was born, she was moving and breathing and doing all the things, so they never really checked it on. Okay, Chiari malformation, maybe she has. They never checked it. So now that she's having a lot of symptoms, and I know that I have EDS, and we're pretty sure that she has it as well, although she hasn't gone through full evaluations for it, because it's impossible to find a doctor here for it, because nobody cares. Nobody cares about this. They don't care about EDS. If you find somebody that cares about it, let me know, because doctors do not care about it. I mean, even the neurosurgeons who are taking care of my mom, 2 out of 3 don't know about Chiari malformation, or a Chiari, or Chiari, Chiari. 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 They don't even know about it. How do you not know about it? And you're a neurosurgeon. How do you not know about it? They don't care. They don't care about it. Because, one, it's rare, and two, you can't do anything about it. If it's severe enough, you will be able to get surgery to push all the stuff back up in there and maybe hold it into place, is what I've read. Something like that from the Mayo Clinic. Basically, I'm super worried about my daughter, but this thing that happened to my mom that's like tragic and horrible, just horrible. She's going through so much right now. It's just horrible. She's never going to be the same. She may not live still. She's suffering right now because she's in the hospital in a coma and she can't move. I know she's suffering, but I also know that she said while she was able to talk in the hospital, she wants to live. So we're not going to like make her suffer by taking her breather off, you know what I mean? She wants to live, but I know it's hard right now, and it's going to be hard for the next 6 months at least for her. But this horrible thing that my mom is going through could possibly save my daughter's life, because the doctor called me about this, and we talked for like 90 minutes at least. That's what he's charging on the referral anyway. On the paper, that's what he wrote down. So we talked for 90 minutes about this, and my mom could possibly save my daughter's life if my daughter is suffering from this, because she's had symptoms of this for quite a while. And I hope to God she doesn't have it. I hope to God she doesn't have it. But like right now, it seems like all signs are pointing to that, from me not having good sonograms with her as a baby in my belly. They could never find their cerebellum. And from her having all these headaches, and it just makes sense that it could possibly be that. So we're going to get her checked. I'm numb right now. I've only cried like 5 times, because when I start to cry, I'm like, nope, I ain't doing it. I ain't doing it. I'm not going to do it. And I've like tried to hold that up, but yesterday I wasn't able to go to the hospital at all. I couldn't do it. And I didn't think that would happen. I couldn't do it because of my mental health, which is so sad, because my mom is suffering in the hospital, you know what I mean? So it's like, it cuts me both ways. Like I have to not be mentally ill and grieve for my mom who's not dead, but I also want to help my mom and be there for her at the same time. It's such a weird feeling, because you know you have to, and I want to, but I couldn't go yesterday. But today I went, and today was a little better. She is taking Provigil, which is something that I took in Israel because I was falling asleep all the time, because I was very low energy. And I wish that I could be on it now, because it's great medicine. Super medicine. It made me feel like a normal person with normal energy, with normal ability. It made me focus better. So this is a neurostimulant. And they could also give her Ritalin, but they started on Provigil first. And today, the ICU director was there, the regular doctor. They have 12-hour day shifts, 7 days a week. And then the next doctor comes on, 12 hours a day for 7 days. It's crazy. And there's 3 doctors. And then there's a director, which this is the first time I've ever seen him. So I guess that would make sense, because this is the 4th week she's been in there. And I've never seen this guy, so I didn't know he existed. But he is a director for all of them. So I guess he's there for 12 hours a day for 7 days this week. I don't know. Anyway, So I was like, "Is there any change?" You know, he didn't speak much. He just kind of eating a sandwich or something when he walked in. I don't know. It was really weird. And he had like a thing of tea and a bottle with a lid. It was weird. It was weird. He just came in my room hanging out. And, you know, he's just staring at her. And I was like, well, you know, she's moving her, you know, with the tube down her throat. She got a tube up her nose. I was like, yeah, she's moving her tongue. I asked her to move her tongue. She's moving it. When I come in, she moves her, you know, she blinks her eyes like this. Sometimes she'll double breath. Sometimes she'll go, and that's coughing. She's like coughing through the tube, but you can't cough through a tube, but it helps your lungs to cough stuff up. But it's literally a silent cough. It's weird. You don't want to smell what you smell in that neuro ICU. You don't want like memories of your mom that way. You know what I mean? You don't want to see the things like her with her tongue hanging out on some days. You don't want to see these things. Your mom you don't want to see these things. So it's like you do need like a mental health day. And that's what I took yesterday. But she has to be there 24 hours a day. You know what I mean? She can't leave until she's getting a trach this week. That's a new development. She's getting a trach and a peg, which I'm guessing is a feeding bag and a poop bag, so that she is not connected to, basically she's got a hose in her booty, and the hose is allowing her to defecate through a tube that is permeable, and you can smell everything. And the smell, when you go up to your mom's face, is like wafting up into her face. So we're like sharing the same smell while I'm talking to her. And it's not a good smell. And I hope that I don't associate that smell with my mom. Like, ever. But, like, it's a smell that stays with you when you leave. You think everything smells this way. Like, yeah. And, you know, she's going in a bag, she's peeing in a bag. So they finally put a Foley catheter on her. She had stopped peeing with an external catheter. She's gained 50 pounds of water while she's been in there. That's how swelled up she is. I've never seen my mom this big in my life. My mom is a little woman. The biggest that I've ever seen her is like 154. And she stays around 149, 145 her whole life. Most of her life that I've known her. She's been 100 pounds before. But that's like for 10 years maybe. But like to see her, she's 200 pounds. She's 4'11", 200 pounds. My mom, my tiny mother, is crazy. Crazy. And her belly is so distended. And I'm like, why is she this big? And why does she have diabetes now? Like, she literally has diabetes now. For why? How? This is not something that my family has, and she's definitely never been even pre-diabetic. It's so crazy. So, and then one of the nurses is like, well, yeah, that's what your body does. It gives you diabetes so you can have glucose to go up in your brain and heal your brain. So I was like, what? What is this? What is my life right now? So that's crazy. So they've been like poking her, getting her sugar, blood sugar. It's just crazy. So one day, she had her finger, it was this finger, and her nails are getting long. She's never had this long of fingernails before. I guess she's not working to break them off. So she had her finger on this mat because her her arms and her legs are so swollen that her arms are weeping. They're so swollen, they're weeping. And she drains. I seen it. It's like a Jesus statue on the side of a house or something, just crying. Her arms are weeping water. It's the craziest thing. So they had pricked her finger and the blood stuck to this mat. It's well, the one guy called it a chuck. And it's basically a mat that you can pee on or, you know, do other things too and bleed on. So she bled on it and her finger was stuck to it. So I picked her finger up and I said, hey, oh, you got some blood on you, okay. And then, you know, I wrapped her hand back up. I went over to the other side of her to try to talk to her because I'm trying to stimulate her, right? She takes this finger with this long fingernail and she's like this. And I'm looking around. I said, are you going to the bathroom or something? What is that noise? And I'm looking around. She does it again. And it's like really loud because that mat is like plastic paper or something. I don't know what it's made out of, but it's like durable and thick. And I lift up and she's moving her finger while I'm talking to her. And I'm like, that's the craziest thing I've ever seen because she's in coma. So I talked to the doctor about it and he's like, well, yeah, was it like a rhythm? Was it rhythmic? Because they can do that with like a seizure. So they could have a seizure in their finger. I'm like, really? This is like, it makes me want to go two ways. One way, man, I need to get healthy because I don't want to go out this way. I don't want to have anything like this happen to me. And then the second way is, what's the freaking point? We don't live long enough. You know what I mean? Like, my mom's not finished doing what she's doing. She'll never be finished doing what she's doing. She'll never get to do what she wants to do. And the same with me. I'm never going to finish what I want to do. Or get to do anything I want to do. So what's the point? You know, I have like these two very conflicting, they're opposite ends of the spectrum. You want to do everything, you want to stay healthy, you want to stay good, and then you're like, what's the point? You don't live long enough anyway, just do what you want. And like, I'm literally on both ends of the spectrum right now, which is so freaking weird. But yeah, the only important thing in your whole life is your health. Because if you don't have your health, you have nothing. And I've had to experience that for the past, I don't know, good 2 years now. And just recently, before my mom got sick, I literally thought 2 times that I was going to die. Like that night, I was going to die. Like I was that close. And thank God I didn't. Like every time I woke up in the morning, I was like, am I alive? So am I still here? Because I was getting to the point where I would take a shower, I would lay back down, seriously, a 10-second shower. I couldn't stand for any longer than that, and I had to have help getting there and going back. So I would come back, and I would lay down, no clothes on, because who has energy for that? No clothes on, lay right in the bed on a towel. And I would lay there until the next day. And my husband told me, he said, he brushed my hair. And then he said, okay, I was laying like this, you know, on the pillow. So he got this side of my head, brushed my hair. And then he said, roll your head over. And I said, yeah, that's not happening. I literally can't do that. Yeah, no. I mean, yeah. So, me thinking that I was gonna die from that, and then seeing my mom, who's going through, like, some really crazy stuff right now, and she's still going through it, and she has so much damage to her brain right now, and she doesn't even care. Like a honey badger, she is like alive, and all of her stats are good, which is the craziest thing. It's the craziest thing. Yeah, we just have to have her wake up, you know, and see what she's gonna do. Everybody who sees her and sees her open her eyes and see her grimacing, because like when you stick a needle in her, it hurts her, and she's not so deep into coma that she doesn't have pain or doesn't withdraw from pain. She can't move her body, but she grimaces. She knows that you're sticking her with a needle. I was telling her about Abigail. I tell her everything about her health. I tell her everything she's going through so that she knows. And I tell her every single day, because I don't know how much she remembers, because I don't know if she has short-term memory loss or not. I don't know what she knows. I don't know if she understands me. The doctor did say that she has no stroke where her language is. So although she did have some aphasia when she woke up the first time right after the aneurysm burst, she did have some aphasia. She did have a little dyslexia. She was able to talk and speak and understand literally everything I said, because she would nod her head and say okay. But that didn't mean that she wasn't erratic and trying to get the, you know, trying to pull out her brain drain and stuff like that. I mean, she was really trying to pull everything out. Even though I told her, I said, Mom, you have to really calm down and not pull on your stuff, right? So they ended up like basically locking her arms down to the bed. And anyway, I am rambling now, but my mom, everybody who looks at my mom, they say, yeah, she's in there. The nurse tonight said, yeah, I mean, look at her face. She's grimacing. She's trying to understand. She's like this. And, you know, she'll move her lips. She'll like trying to figure out what the tube in her mouth is. It doesn't go in a hole. It's not like that. That's what it looks like. So she doesn't have any teeth in. Obviously, she has false teeth, so she don't have teeth in. So it's like, okay, that's what she looks like. And then she's got a pretty large tube up her nose. Like the whole thing's like this. So I mean, when I go in, for the most part, I don't see any of that. I see none of that. And I'm like that in real life. Like if I see a really large lady, like myself, if I see a really large lady, really large man, I like cut all of that off of them in my mind, and I see them for who they are, as like a normal sized person. And I've always done that. That's so weird. But I also do that with like if I go into a really messy room, I can see what the room looks like without all the mess. That's why I'm so good at picking out really expensive things at like thrift stores and yard sales and stuff, because I delete all the trash from my vision in my brain, and I just poke out the good stuff. You know what I mean? So I do have that mental cope where I can go in and look at her and not see all these wires, and look at the facts. Like I look at all of her stats that are being shown. I look at all of her blood tests. I know what all of this stuff means now, and I know what's good and what can be harmful and what indicates something bad. And I don't want to know this stuff, and I'll forget about it later, thankfully. But right now it's like I'm hanging on to every post that the doctor makes on her like website thing when she gets her new blood test, when they say something about her. Like this one post he made, and it said, family is still clinging on to hope because she's opening her eyes, but I don't see any chance for her to live and open her eyes and have a meaningful recovery. You know what I mean? So it's like, why? Why? So things like that, they get to you, and they make you think other thoughts when you go in and you see your mom as not alive, but being kept alive. But she's not. She's not. She's not brain dead. She's not being kept alive. She is functioning. She just has to wake up from a coma. But thankfully I am able to delete all of the things from her face that are a little scary. And I can just see her. And I really want to wash her hair soon. She got that EVD out, which is the brain drain, and it drained a lot of juice and blood. So she's got like, I don't know, 12 staples right now in her head, and her head right here is shaved, and she's going to be so upset when she wakes up. But I want to really wash her hair because she hasn't had a wash in about a month. It's been about a month now. So our goal now for this week is to have her open her eyes, which she has been doing, but opening her eyes and actually looking at somebody meaningfully, like following them and looking at them in the eyes. So that's our goal for this week. But I just wanted to update it because I haven't updated for like a week because she's in coma. So there's like there's no update. But this is what's happening to her right now. She had the HIT, which is Heparin Induced Thrombocytopenia or something like that with the platelets. They gave her platelets. You never give platelets if somebody is allergic to heparin and then they're losing platelets. You never give them platelets. Let that be known, because that did cause her a lot of damage that hopefully she will overcome, and it did put her in coma. So hopefully she will overcome that. Her vasospasms, when you have an aneurysm and it bursts and it touches your brain, every part of the brain that the blood touches dies. It is dead. You can never regain it. But you can learn in other parts of your brain what was dead. So like if this is like, this part moves your hand, you can learn that somewhere else in your brain. Okay, so these strokes happened everywhere in her brain, and they actually killed her brain more, and that's what caused her coma. I forgot what I was gonna say, but yeah, she has HIT. She had a secondary event that the hospital caused that she may not wake up from. And that's where we're at right now. So we're going to work on her all this week and positive encouragement, trying to get her to wake up. When she talks to the kids, she has a lot of facial activity. A lot. I even told her about Abigail. I tell her about herself. I told her, hey, you have that Chiari and I got EDS from you most likely. Because Chiari malformation is basically a lot of people with EDS. A lot of people with Chiari have EDS. That's what I said. So I most likely got it from you. And then guess what? Abigail's headaches may be from that too. And she had the strongest reaction when I said that. Like, she opened her mouth like that, and she looked like she was trying to sit her head up. So she wants to know what is going on with Abigail. So she's going to get an MRI soon. We're in the process of changing her doctor because we didn't go to the doctor for maybe 6 months, and they dropped us because they're so full. And if you don't go within like a certain time frame, I hadn't been for like a year or something, and Raphael hadn't been for a year, but Abigail had just been like 7 months ago. So they kicked all of us out. And they're like, it says, you know, that we could go there, but they are not taking new patients. And if you haven't been there within 6 months, you're considered not a new patient. Or you're considered a new patient if you haven't been there 6 months. So they kicked us out, and they're like, yeah, we're not accepting new patients. I'm like, what? I've been going here. This is my doctor. But since I hadn't been for a long time, Raphael hadn't been for a year. We go once a year to get checked, and Abigail just went for eczema, or whatever she has on her skin. I think it's eczema. Anyway, she got some cream for her eczema, and it went away. But we haven't been for a while, so they're like, yeah, you have to get a new doctor. So we were in the process of getting a new doctor. So hopefully Abigail can go get an MRI soon. But that's the main thing. My mom may have helped my daughter. I just want my mom to wake up for Christmas. That's what I want. I want my mom to wake up for Christmas. So I'm praying for that. So we'll see. I will keep you updated. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching the updates. Thank you for your prayers. Hopefully they will all get answered and everything will be good pretty soon, but we don't know. We're like in limbo because we don't know anything. And my mom's still fighting, so we're just going to let her fight and do everything we can to help her wake up and do good and get therapy and regain some good parts of life like her grandkids. Okay, so I will see you probably in another week with another update, I hope.
You aren't subscribed yet?
Please subscribe and like.
Comment and share. FoolyLiving.
Man, you did really good, Raphael. I can't believe it. Yeah, thanks, Linda. All right, go ahead and open it.
Hey.
Moo, you're a cow. He's going to start streaming because he wants to be a streamer, so he's going to practice now and get a real account when he's 13.
Want to see a trick?
But he's going to